Yo, what is up? It's your boy AM coming to you with an AMPM in VR. This one's gonna be a really unique one. Remember the Day Night Gang reached out to us and asked to be on our channel. So what I did is I just sat down with the person and I did an interview. And what you're gonna see is me having a conversation with them to get to know them a little bit better. Some backstory and one of our AMPM adventures in real life. We were walking through the streets of Seattle and the person just kind of met us in the streets and then kind of told us about what they're into. And then they started following the channel, and then they've been following us for 6 months. And then so they just contacted me on the back end in the comments and saying they wanted to be interviewed again. And so that's what I did. And it was pretty cool. It was an interesting conversation, and I hope you enjoy it. Yo, what's up? This is AM from AMPM Adventures. I have here Mr. Cornelius. So, how you pronounce your full name?
Cordelious.
Cordelious. Okay.
Yeah, I've had the names as the One, Life or Death, and Jicci, and now I'm just going by my name, Cordelious, because I'm kind of retired from the pro wrestling film. 3, 2, 1 battle. I give a nice shout out on YouTube saying my highs and goodbyes. Touch the skies of the underground, and doing more about acting and understanding my music. So, I'm always cool with the plays and performances come true, and I understand logic and platforms and just sceneries and how things are mechanisms. I got to go. So we're doing things. I'm gonna be on a magazine coming out in a few months. So things are happening.
That's
Doing a
cool.
Joker movie. I have Mosh the Virus. Then I did Maze of Hell, and I was Two Face on YouTube. The director dropped out of the movies, but I still kept things going. And now I'm doing a Joker movie. It's just about plays and platforms and sceneries, and I'm trying to do my part, but I'm trying to do something on the other side because the movies have to change in the theater and things have to change on walking down the street. And I'm trying to get it walking down the street, but Euphoria of the world both have to get to another island because we're going to create something that has never seen before. And Cordelious is trying to job done.
You did pro wrestling for a while. How many years have you done that?
I kind of do it as a partnership with Energy of the Wind and wrestling because you have to know about endurance and plays and performances. So together, like 9 years. 9 years.
That's a long time.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I always loved Mother Nature and just understanding all the oxygen and developing content and developing where you're going area and just where you're going in the world and journeys. And it helps in and outside the ring when you had to go and meet people or you had to go and do a job or you had to go and understand the world because the world's changing, just going through even moving or going to different cities or actually traveling. I travel now, just monitoring where you're going, where you're coming. Sceneries. It's an echo of thoughts and because I'm in a big thing with plays, but the developing content with domestication, just learning about people and environment, is always a beautiful.
Okay. So I don't know too much about wrestling, but I do hear a couple of things here and there.
Mhm.
So I've heard that there's like two types of characters that you can play in wrestling. One is like the baby face, and the
Yeah,
other is the
I was a,
heel.
I was a tweener baby face for a while, and then I turned heel surrounding the remake of WrestleMania 21. We kind of did our own Hollywood style on it, and we tried to bring Hollywood entertainer and globally just understanding sceneries and where we're going for the horizons. And I became the heel, and the heel's still in me, but it's good. It just really understands where the world's working. It has construction, wildlife, and Mother Nature. Then you go and it understands oxygen, air and stuff like that. And we try to put a circus thing at the end. I'm trying to get the wrestling, but um, entertainment as well, even acting and energy boxing into the circus realm. I'm trying to get the circus here in Seattle and plays and the performances in theaters because we're all performers, and if we can get out on the street and make the noise heard, we can make a difference. Oh,
That's cool. So what was your finishing
yeah.
move in your wrestling career? I know like The Rock has like the rock bottom.
Yeah, 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 yeah. The Rock is cool, and The Rock was a different breed too. He's a different kind of mixed. They kind of like me being a mix, being Native American, African American, and he's a different kind of Samoan and a pollination of trees, an African American. I do the end all be all speaking the rock bottom. It was a later form. It just you put the leg in front of people and you put the arm over, and instead of moving forward, you just fall back and it propels them on the ground. And I've also had the movie, the Death Sentence. Sting kind of does that in a way. It's like they shift their body and you bend it, and then you see the neck, and then you just fall back. And I also had the dead set lullaby, where first I do a leg drop, to get them where I'm going on their thigh. But then I pull back the leg and I keep bumping back and forth. And sometimes I just dangle there and it spreads out their bodies, because it's a lot about healing and understand healing of the earth, build the oxygen, you get it, and you keep rupturing it, and it helps dams and streams. And I'm trying to get in wildlife and camps. So, I had to learn a lot. But yeah, those were my finishers. But
That's cool. And then you
yeah,
also said that you're a
I
rapper too,
actually
right?
yeah, I do rap, but I actually met people in the theater surrounding Doom. They were doing a Doom thing. They had the computer. They were promoting Doom. I actually was promoting. Um, I did Get the Hell Out of Dodge. I made a movie Running Out of Time in Chicago. I don't know where it is, but I spoke to the director, a different director. Kind of, that's a platform understanding things, and that's kind of deferring things. A younger version. There may not be zombies, but there's artifacts and things that you can fossilize to bring them back to complete each other, because they're not living, I'm not living. But it's all about theater and mystery. It's like a lower level guy understanding journeys, develop something that was there and wasn't there, and a person that has something but doesn't comprehend everything.
All right. I'm gonna throw a kind of like a funny a question out there for you to see what you
Okay,
answer.
cool.
So, what is your go-to order at your favorite restaurant?
My go-to order,
Yeah.
I like monster burgers from Red Robin's, and I've
Okay.
always had aspirations to get in the game and do commercials. But the thing is, what's a card? What's chloroform? What's rivers? What's with dance? What do we explore that was living and not living to understand ultrasound in a card? What's really beating? What's the process of holding a card? Am I allergic to things? Yes. Are they not understanding development? Yes. So I always like to understand camps and like Red Robins or something. And so I've always thought about them being with Mother Nature and growing with other parts of habitats surrounding Mother Nature. So I always like the monster burger with the monster milkshake and the fries. I like to have ranch with it too. I'm kind of
Oh.
and ketchup. So it's a good fulfilling. It's fulfilling for the body.
Yeah. So it's what? So do you like the campfire sauce?
Yeah, no, I haven't tried it, but we're getting further in that, man, because I'm trying to be in camps and stuff. And I'm trying to merge wrestling and energy boxing, but and inspiring acting to be more with barnyard cemeteries and cornfields and camps, because we're one with Mother Nature and we're getting more healthier differently. First of all, we had to get healthy, and now we're not healthy, and now we're trying to get healthy because the climate change is changing. It's like I feel like we're going back in the past in like 2000, from but like 2000, it's 2000 because we had to go back to something that wasn't last, but we have all this other identity. So if we mix things with Mother Nature and just really achieve greatness, we can.
You keep mentioning energy boxing, and I have no clue what that is. Can you explain a little bit more what that is?
Yeah, energy boxing, just understanding dead oxygen and reliever of like um a lot of air and stuff like that that creates more leaves and helps construction move faster and creates oil and soil. It's just moving back and forth and understanding docile trees and stuff to recreate everything in a vision. But it's also storytelling and plays and performances and understanding to create things and visualize things, right? And then hit some. But it's not. It's also about learning and understanding where we're going in a journey. And it's also just a big play and excitement. It's like just understanding where your identity is and being passionate. But it's also bringing things in and out of air or peroxides or chemicals. To relive who you are and what you are, to bring all the fairy tales to outside, if you will.
That's a little too much for me to understand at the moment. I mean,
I know, but the thing is, where are we going to generate things? If we can press enter differently and really understand our minds and imagination, because we're going back and our bodies are developed. Because who was the person that was not famous before now? Who understood the environment? We had to go both to create something. So if we get everything out in the open and we can understand both our lives, both our journeys, a guy who really creates things and a guy who's built, we can really transition things for greatness. Because the world's changing, the weather's changing, the clouds are changing. We're more able to move. There's more paperwork time to have money and sceneries. Our economy's getting better. You know, the swamps are looking better, camps are looking better, vibing with the world, anime is getting better. TV's changing. We have a chance to really want things. Let's just try for great.
Okay, I like that. I like the idea.
Yeah,
Yeah, go for the best. So like all of this like metaphysical type of like thinking and
yeah.
feeling, is that happening in the mind or is that through
It
meditation?
happens to the mind and the
How do
body
you
and the soul
activate
with
that?
this fresh bunch of scenery. How do I create that?
Yeah, because like I'm sure there's some people out there that want to kind of get into energy boxing, and it's like, what is the first step to get, you know?
First step is to just really create what you imagine in life and really just create a back and forth maneuvers and under strategies to understand how things can be created because you can't, it's not just about picking them a fish, it's about creating strategies in mind and working together. It could be like a football or a basketball team. How do you complete something? How do you complete your journeys into exercising and creating things, but really knowing that you're really making a difference and even a boat or something, all this air and all these strategies, it can really create things. It can get our jobs done, but it's just always just understanding where we're going in life and
Okay, I have a better
it just
understanding of it. Yeah,
yeah.
that's cool. So you like to just kind of like visualize where you see yourself in like 5 years. Is that correct?
Yeah, yeah. I don't know. In 5 years, I'd like to be, in motion pictures, but even with like FearNet or something, because I like plays and performances in theaters. But I like where are we going to go now? And it's fear, but it's also realizing how you get through fear, but how do you get passionate? I just like to develop thoughts and feels and messages and really develop that through a TV or a computer, something you can put on software, just feels and thoughts. I like to
Mm-hmm.
be with goth, but all that Blair Witch stuff. I'd like to create something like fairy tales because fairy tales never died. They had to develop, and now we're here. But if we could even something we looked in the window at 7 years old, or 10 years old, or 12 years old, even something walking down the street, not knowing where you're going, and we can combine our thoughts to all understand all our journeys. We have to live a lot of years to get to a next year to have all this. Man, maybe our dreams can come true. Work for something. We have real doors now. We have we have um, we have more clothes, we move more, we get to be on the bus more, we get to travel more, but our imagination has to come back, and we combine that with our body and our work ethic. Really want things. Everybody wanted some advance at one point, but when can we match it all together and just really great thing starts now.
Mm-hmm. So you talk about motion pictures and wanting to be in it, and it sounds like it's like a lot of it's like a horror films and stuff. Is that
Yeah,
is that
yeah,
your
but we
main
can
focus? Is
transition it, huh?
that your main focus is like to be in horror
Um,
films?
Yeah, horror film, but mysteries, we can dial it down and bring it up and know, like, it could be through DNA and we can understand biology, more about science and camping and sceneries. But with the horror, it's like mysteries and thrillers. And if we can build the comedy into a different aspects, we can go back to the live wire, old school stuff, but with uh, better TV development and just really just understand where you're going. And it's like a board game for all of us, and we had to create things to have a better imagination and create things. It's just through a board game. So just I don't know, yeah, just really like what's gonna happen next and all that. I like it. I'm like that psychologist. I've studied in psychology, and I just like to understand bringing the best out of somebody's really their bodies and their feels and their thoughts. Like, how could this impact my life to be I want more walking down the street shows, walking down the street, and everybody can make an impact and everybody can understand all this is training to have a real life. And when we have a real life, just let's make the best of it because we've been training. It's like a war. Now we have a war, but we get to understand ourselves and go out in the wild and be someone. So let's just make things happen.
All right. What is the most paranormal thing that has happened to you? Have you seen a ghost, Sasquatch, since you're up in the
That's
Seattle area?
interesting. Um, I've seen like That's a tough question. I've seen things become something that wasn't something. So if somebody was docile, if something was created, it can become like out of control, and that's in Mother Nature, and you understand how to keep it under control. Sometimes you see objects, sometimes you see a mirror, sometimes you see something barely doing anything, and it can, whenever things are changing to get to this part, it could go out of control like a ghost. The ghost is barely moving, it could just become out of control. Some of these are hard to develop through plywood, electricity, and all of a sudden all this stuff happens, and you don't know where you were after them. Don't know, and it's like a board game, and you're trying to understand. how you keep going, and things create things, and you just sometimes it's hard to keep things under control where you could find things before they find you. So that's the mystery in all these board games. So yeah, it could be a ghost or a little seeing or somebody.
This is kind of off topic of what we're talking about right now. Something that I was
Uh-huh.
kind of want to throw out there.
Yeah.
What is the strangest talent you have?
Strangest talent. That's interesting. I don't know, just understanding how people work. Because, you have to construct somebody like a puppy. Like when you punch somebody, you have to bring back their body to really understand why they're doing it. And it's not about hitting somebody hard or a suplex or an elbow. It's redirecting somebody's eyelids or their movements of their bodies to really understand where they're going in life, to understand their missions and how it can be best fulfilled. Like a psychologist, you understand how one little thing can develop into other things to something grasp more. So it's just grasping what people do before they do and kind of talking to them so they can go out and do something positive. But warping that into small mini things. Understand how somebody can be inspired, whether it's in energy boxing or pro wrestling or music or movies.
Mm-hmm. And so when you do your raps, how do you come up with the ideas? Is that all through the energy boxing?
Yeah, it's too energy box like because a play and a poem and stories about learning and being on a journey through rhythms. You have to connect rhythms, and it connects oxygen or floorboard or anything that's spooky. Um, you have to understand where you're going in life and how people think and where you're going, and just sceneries, and you kind of like through a session and and heavy noises, heavy blood, heavy trees, heavy forest, and connect don't like a dead piano or a dead saxophone, and just go. And then sometimes it's like how people speak or people. You have to really be into a body and just don't because it has to get it healthier and understand where to go to not get healthy.
So can you spit a few bars for us?
I don't have any oxygen here, but because usually I have to have a pitch of an oxygen. All right, I'll try. Where are we gonna go and where are we gonna see when we don't see what we got to do in our fantasies? We look at the stars and we look really hard and we hit the bars whether it was a look or a stare or a movement or a pitch. Man, we want to be rich and we want to be poor because each side had a difference. Let's make a difference. I'm done.
That's pretty
And
good.
that was as best as going to be because I've actually made albums online, and I did the heartache and the communication degree, and I less can be more some days because I did all those hard bars, and I did the noises, and I freestyle on streets, and I've done performance in the movie, I've done performance in the street. But sometimes you got to just understand the little things to understand you've had good and bad days. Do everything, pick them together like a body, and you want to resurrect the soul. Sometimes people have other things and you have things that you don't know who you are and you're not. And you pick up these star chips and you really want things. Understand to just regroup and you will get positive. It goes through the software.
Okay, so how do people find you online if they want to check out your music?
Um, well, I have a program called Soundcloud and it's called Rap Fame. Yeah,
Rap
and
thing.
under Cordelious Jicci Powers. I duel under Jicci. I'm into duel monsters. I go to duel monster conventions, but I've understood other strategies about the world and understand where you're going, how you're doing to pick up a card, and understand each card creates a destiny and fulfill me, to ghosts and the living and the dead. So I like Yu-Gi-Oh, and I'm playing something seven, but it's kind of like music and hitting things, understanding where you're going, like an eternal ritual. But I also have a Facebook under, I have under my former name, Toussaint Jackson. I'm changing to Cordelious Powers. I'm seeing it, but I have a Twitter named Cordelious Powers, Dicey Powers, and I usually have music on there too. But those are the main things: SoundCloud and the rap thing. And my albums are Dead Set Lullaby, Heartache, communication degree, and I just finished it. Scatters. Scatters is just going through things and understanding things so you can be striving for greatness and you can complete your goals. And it's also strategies about how I want things walking down the street, and they're just story tells of people creating things to really understand their journey and having a heart and a pulse and a body to just really recreate movements and strategies because they have to go uphill battles and tell other stories to combine their stories to create their soul. So yeah.
Cool. So we're kind of coming to the end of the interview. Is there anything else you'd like to share with the people? So they know what's up?
Yeah, the people. Speaking of people, my audience is always called freedom fighters, and it's just fighting for something that's out of nothing and reaching for the stars and knowing that you don't always get them, but through and through out, you combine things and you have things and you don't, and you lose things. And there's always a pathway, and you got to believe in something. I always had aspirations to actually go doing stuff next to the twinkles and stars, or telling stories in front of the twinkles and stars, because we all have something of a gift. And telling stories and being in camps and just summoning who we are is pretty cool. So, I just want to tell people to strive for greatness and believe in something because the air is changing. And so we can change too with it and just really understand who we are. That's why I enjoy talking to you. And it's always nice to see your little successes and big successes scattered because doing goth, I have a cool goth shirt, but it's cool to have a big goth to understand the little things. I have armbands from goth and it's cool. And you're about to understand strength person. You got to make things where it can. But that's your ideas. Goals. One time you can be nothing in something. Just keep identities, really figure out how to harbor who you are, just create things. We all are courageous in our own way. Good or bad, man, who's ever after us, it doesn't matter. We're gonna get passionate, we're going places, but we gotta just understand scenery surrounding it, just creating things. Our message is always positive. It's always nice to see you, and hopefully we talk again.
All right. Take care. All right, we are back. So we just finished having our interview. It's really unique stuff that he talked about, and very interesting person. Shout out to them for wanting to be on the channel. It's something that I always wanted to do to kind of get to know our day and night gang because we have quite a few viewers and subscribers, and so if you're into it, just let me know. I'm down to interview you. You can promote your stuff, whatever the case may be. But other than that, if you like it, give it a thumbs up. If you love it, be sure to hit the subscribe button if you're new to the channel. And let us know in the comments, what other type of content you want to see and what do you think about the interview. And other than that, I give you a big fat peace.